Hello everyone, this is Jigyasa, your host for today's KU Pod Squad. Some journeys don't begin in boardrooms. They begin in small towns with big dreams and a deep understanding of people. And sometimes, those dreams grow into stories that are studied all around the world. Today's guest is a perfect example for that. What started as a supermarket has grown into Hearty Mart, a thriving network that empowers local entrepreneurs and supports HoReCa industry at scale. As the founder and chief mentor, he has built more than just a business. His work is now a case study in institutions like IIM Ahmedabad and National University of Singapore, showing how purpose-driven entrepreneurship can create real change. From advertising to rural retail, and from speaker sessions to startup mentoring, he has worn many hats, grounded to one vision: to build with heart. Nadeem Jaffrey, we are honored to welcome you on KU Pod Squad. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So my first question to you is, what made you leave the advertisement industry and come into Hearty Mart and build it from scratch? What was your journey about it?
So I'll go back to my college days actually.
Okay.
Some timeline there. 93, I graduated from St. Xavier's College. After that, I was exploring various industries, trying to figure out what I need to do. I did a couple of sales jobs. I was not successful. I was asked to leave in one of the organizations. And then I felt the need to do to have a professional degree. So I pursued MBA from IMS Indore, 96-98. And 98, I joined Dainik Bhaskar. And 2000, I joined Grey. This is the timeline of 7 years after my graduation. So for 7 years, I was trying to figure out which industry I should be into. But I realized that advertising is something which was very close to my heart, and I really enjoyed working there. The flip side was I was too senior to be at an entry-level executive, because I was 7 years after graduation. I joined an agency as a client servicing executive.
Okay.
So when I went to Mumbai, I realized that my colleagues were 4 to 5 years younger to me in age, and their bosses were a couple of years younger to me.
Okay.
And so this really, it started hurting me, because I felt that I will not grow further. And one of the recruitment consultants did tell me this, that I don't have any other option in Mumbai in advertising, because there are young people working at a higher position than me. One more thing, we had our office in Phoenix Mill Compound, and opposite my office there was Big Bazaar. The first Big Bazaar of India was there. I am talking about the year 2002.
Okay.
When I was in deputation. So whenever I was free, I used to go there, and I enjoyed buying from that store. It was a huge store. I had never seen a retail at that scale. So this, I started thinking, maybe perhaps if I enter into entrepreneurship, I might do something in this space. So that was the first seed of entrepreneurship which was instilled in me when I was in Mumbai. And I felt that there is a roadblock of growth in advertising, and sales was not my cup of tea. So all these things helped me take a decision to enter into entrepreneurship.
Okay. So since Hearty Mart is into rural sector, so it deals with rural people, what were the cultural challenges and logistics में कि आपको ऐसे क्या challenges आए थे?
हमने first franchise जब start किया था, this was in the year 2007. I mean 3 years after I started in Ahmedabad.
Okay.
Right? Now, this was a time when retail ecosystem was not in place. So whatever we did on our own, with our own ideas. Right? So we, with limited access to funds, we thought of a model of franchising, which was more of FOFO model, where we would present our story of how we developed in Johapura to a village entrepreneurs, ask him to invest in his own store, and we would give him a back-end system,
Okay.
Ecosystem, retail ecosystem. So and we started scaling. But the flip side of this was that we did not invest in a centralized buying. Neither we had a supply chain.
Okay.
So we felt that growth might not be so easy in this model. That was number one. Number two, the products which were being bought by the customers at a rural level very different from here, from Ahmedabad. So again, purchasing in bulk, it was very difficult to decide what products we should purchase so that we can give them at an economical cost. So all these were little limitations which we faced, but then we realized that slowly we started growing, and we found out there were some from the inventory there were certain products which we can make, create and market it to them. So which was like spices and other food products. So we started doing that.
Is it also very hard to manage the inventory? Because इतना सारा stuff bulk में you have to take. So what are the challenges में कि आपको inventory कैसे संभालना?
If you are into a non-perishable product, inventory management is not so difficult.
What are non-perishable products?
The products like grains.
Okay.
Product like lentil.
Okay.
Spices.
Okay.
Which can be stored for more than 6 months, longer time. Inventory management is easy. If you are into perishable products like butter, milk, paneer, or say vegetables and fruits, it is very difficult. So it was our decision that we will not enter into a perishable product.
Okay.
Till the time we have the hang of inventory management properly.
Got it. So my next question is ki, how do you feel when your studies are taught in major institutions? Does it also have an impact on your business?
Impact as far as say profits are concerned or money is concerned, no. But brand salience, yes, definitely, because
goodwill,
brand salience, goodwill. You get an opportunity to talk about your business model in other major institutions. Because we entered into IIM Ahmedabad, we could enter into NUS. We could enter into other institutions. I have been invited by B schools. Recently I went to Narsi Monjee Indore as a panelist and I discussed my entrepreneurial journey. So all these things help. Intangible, yes, lots of gain. People write about you, people discuss, and that gives you lots and lots of satisfaction because you feel that you have done something which is very different. You have done something where people take interest, write, and it might inspire. I'm not saying it would definitely inspire, I'm not sure, but it might surely inspire those who would like to take inspiration from it, and maybe it can create a new business rules. You never know.
I'm sorry. So you also work with startups. So आपको ऐसे majorly what mistakes do you feel that youth is making, which is pulling them away from their goals?
When we started our business, it was more business which was a brick and mortar business. I'm talking about the Hearty Mart 21 years back when ecosystem was not in place. Aajkal startup, they have a structured ecosystem. All right. So, okay, there are advantages, there are disadvantages. I would first discuss advantages. Advantages, they have access to mentors and they have access to funds. Disadvantages, because they have access to mentors, they don't think innovatively on their own. Disadvantages, because they have access to funds, their focus is more to have more and more funding rather than working on the bottom lines. So I have realized that startups today, they end from day one, most of them, I'm not saying every startup does that, but most of them, they are they feel that their business model is the best, and so they are not so flexible. They look up to getting more and more grants and funds rather than working on the bottom lines. And I tell them that your business model should be such that you become independent very fast. You have access to funds, that's fine, but that you can take it at a later stage of your startup career where you have enough profits at place so that your valuation also grows. So day one say if you expect valuation badega, day one say if you work on valuation rather than profit, it is going to hamper the startup initial journey.
ओके, गॉट इट। एंड अभी ऐसे ग्रोइंग सेक्टर्स कौन से हैं जिसमें एक यूथ को इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए?
Tech
ओके।
or technology, any technology, I would say any tech platform, fintech, financial technology हो गया, IT sector हो गया, e-commerce हो गया, even in FMCG now, with FMCG I mean consumer products. Now more and more D2C brands are coming into direct to consumer.
मतलब?
Direct to consumer,
Okay.
where they create their brand and they place it on the online platform rather than going to the conventional channel of stockist, distributor, retailer के बजाय they try to make their own space, e-commerce space, or through Flipkart and other platforms
And directly sell it to the
consumers. Right. So tech is one thing where if you invest there with a good trying to figure out the good startup where you are addressing a certain kind of pain point, it is going to grow.
Okay. Speaking of tech, are you also using AI into your business?
In a food grocery retail गाँव का retail store, AI वैसे तो as of now we are in a very nascent stage to use AI to better our processes. But we do use AI for
Idea generation.
creating marketing materials, promotional materials, even for communication leaflets and all, where we give them a prompt and try to come out with the ideas, and then most of the time what we do, we then try to better it. So there are professional agencies will create a first prototype design, give it to the agency, and we'll say, okay, maybe you can take it as a brief and take it further from there.
Okay.
Right.
So what is next for Hearty Mart? आप किस डायरेक्शन में इसको लेके जाने का सोच रहे हो?
So right from day one when we entered into production, my idea was to enter into exports, try to create production brands which are global, catering to global market. And in fact, we are coming very near to that because we started our office, marketing office, exports office in Dubai in 2022.
Okay.
So we are catering to UK market, we are catering to New Zealand market and Gulf market with where we do both. We promote our products also and we create white label, private label for the customers.
Okay.
So just to elaborate on white label, so for an example, there's a client who has say X brand, but they don't have a production facility. So they'll come to us saying that this is our packaging, this is my X brand. You create a range of spices for this brand. So rather than I selling my brand to him, I would create a brand for him and sell it to him.
Okay.
Right. So that white label exports we do.
Okay. What is success to you? Has your definition changed over time?
Success, I think success changes from person to person, right? So it all starts with what was your aim when you started your journey. If your aim was to earn lots and lots of money, if your aim is to become say top 10 richest person globally, so nobody is successful. Only then those 10 people who have entered are successful people. But if your aim is to create an impact, if your aim, so eventually it is getting a self actualization. Whether you are in a self actualization mode, that feel you will get if you grow from X to Z. When I started, I was at X, and now today I would definitely say I am at Z. Perhaps that's the reason we are doing this podcast. So for me, self actualization, self contentment, and a decent lifestyle is a success.
You've definitely made an impact on the industry. Yeah, definitely. So, how important do you feel mentorship is, and आपको आपके mentors कैसे मिले?
Mentorship is definitely very, very important, right? Today, mentorship is more structured. It is more defined. When I started, it was not so structured, not defined, but mentorship was still there.
Okay.
Right from our childhood, we learn through various people. We learn through our parents, our teachers.
Right.
So maybe parents are the first mentor,
True.
then teachers, then our subordinates, our colleagues, our friends. So this is unstructured mentorship. and we try to imbibe many things just by interacting with them. Right. So when I started, as I already said, that there was no such system. Any startup ecosystem was not in place. No incubations were there. So I learned through traveling through the journey. I met lots of people, and when I was struggling, in fact, when I started Hearty Mart in Johapura 2004, I saw the first profits in 2009. So, and I was in such a position where I couldn't take money from my business also, but I had to focus on my business. Plus, I was not having any funds. So, this is the time when I started reading lots of books and started teaching in B schools.
Okay.
I taught at GLS Center of Management Excellence. I taught at Idea Foundation. So I taught for 2006, 2011. I taught for 5 to 6 years. Okay. And I read lots of books and I interacted with lots and lots of batches of students. And I learned a lot.
Okay.
So that gave me insights on mentoring young people. I learned my mentoring from the way I taught my students.
Got it.
Right.
So can you also suggest some books which youth should invest in? If you haven't.
No, I definitely read books. So I read advertising, and I advertised because I was teaching advertising.
Yeah.
Advertising Management by David Acker and Rajiv Batra.
Okay.
It's a very famous book on advertising management.
Mm-hmm.
Philip Kotler, of course. Apart from this, when I was teaching, I tried bringing lots of things from outside.
Okay.
So I read a book, biography of, and I always suggest this to young entrepreneurs, that you should read biographies and autobiographies of successful people. And if you are into entrepreneurship, definitely of entrepreneurs. So I read Life of Jack Welch.
Okay.
The book is called Straight from the Guts.
Okay.
Then I read 2 books on Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot. Steve Jobs I learned how he came up with an integration model. He was the only person who could think on business integration. To elaborate on that, he had his own software, iOS. He had his own handset. Mm-hmm. He had his own music.
Mm-hmm.
He had his own stores.
Okay.
Right. So music, तो iMusic था, iPhone था,
right,
iPod था.
Yeah.
So everything was Steve Jobs. Right. So that is a classic case of integration. So as you grow, you need to think that how can you bring in integration in your business.
Got it.
Right. So maybe a production is yours, supply chain is yours, regional outlet is yours, customer is outside, of course. But all these 3 channels, you earn out of it. That's what Steve Jobs did. So that I learned a lot from reading his books. I learned a lot from Jack Welch, where he has very, very interesting thing. He said that he used to stammer a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he became leader of a century. CEO of a century.
Right.
Till the time he joined there, he reached that position, he did not know that this is his limitation. Right. Because as a young child, whenever he would ask his mother what is this happening with me? Yeah. His mother used to say that you are so smart, your mind works faster than your tongue. So your tongue can't match your mind thinking. And that is why it lags. So he said, later on I realized, okay, this was the limitation. But it never stopped him, because that confidence he got right from his early days. So I would say that uske liye the best mentor was his mother.
Yeah, true.
Right. जो जिसने उसको बताया नहीं कि ये आपकी कमजोरी है,
right.
So that helps. So that's how mentorship also helps.
Yeah, true mentorship चाहिए रहता है एक इंसान को to grow. अब 3 ऐसी एडवाइस दो जो यूथ को ऑन पॉइंटर्स आज की डेट में चाहिए.
3 एडवाइस में आप यूथ के लिए क्या एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के लिए एस्पायरिंग
जो स्टार्टअप्स कर रहे हैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में.
You have to first figure out what is your inherent strength. Normally देखो क्या होता है कि whenever we try to figure out a startup idea, we start we look outside. We'll say market कौन सा अच्छा है, market में क्या करता है, वो competition, how that competition is doing. But that competition is doing well because he is facing different sets of situation.
Right.
He is he is coming that maybe that startup is coming from a very different background. So background check where I am and what is my strength. In my case, just to relate, in my case, I entered into FOFO model in a village because there was a community there, Chile community. They were the farmers, and I have the social connect with them. So I started tapping them, and I created franchising model. Their other extreme is they are hoteliers. So I started tapping them, and I created Horeca model supply. So I milked on my social network, which was my first network. So my strength was my network.
Got it.
Right. So had I not been from this family, perhaps I wouldn't have thought on those lines.
True.
So you first figure out what is your strength. It can be your network. It can be your intelligence. You might be very good at numbers. Right. You might be very good at communication. So maybe something, if communication, maybe advertising can be your business. If numbers, maybe financial, you can become a chartered accountant or a firm, something like that. So first, look within, look at your strength, then look outside and try to match your strength with the opportunity. And weave a startup idea around that. So that is one thing. Second, be people's person. So you need not be very dogmatic about your idea. Be flexible, people person, take people along.
Yeah.
And third, never let your passion down.
Got it.
So all these things, I think, will help.
Advice.
Yeah.
Right. Got it. So you said that you are also connected to social communities. So how do you manage profitability along with social impact and social growth to balance both?
Okay. When we started, we never so any idea when you start, you always look for profits, right? So when we started, it was always growth.
Yeah.
And then जैसे जैसे हम आगे बढ़े, हमको ऐसा लगने लगा कि with franchising model, growth will not be scalable. We might not scale beyond Gujarat. Because with your intangible ideas, you cannot service maybe a franchise in Chennai.
Right.
Right. So that, but then we got lots and lots of mileage. Because of that, media started writing about us.
Yeah.
B schools were interested in knowing how did we do what we did. Right. So we kept that as our face, and we very sincerely work for that. Right. But we now what the focus is more into product creation. The focus is more into exports and Horeca. For this, because we are in this industry since last 21 odd years, people know that we have been providing franchises at a rural level. So if someone passionate enough comes to us for a franchisee, we definitely offer with sincerity, but we don't market that.
Okay.
So that is how we try to do the balance.
Okay.
And we service we are chain of 11-12 stores in various parts of rural Gujarat. So we service them as diligently and honestly as we can.
That's amazing. So can you, just for some more information, can you tell us something about more export?
Exports?
Yeah, about export business.
Export business we started in 2022 when one of my partners from here, he moved to Dubai with his family and he started. So Dubai, now interesting part of Dubai is that you don't need a local partner there. You can have your own office in Dubai. And that is the reason people have started looking at Dubai as an option, because it is a window to exports. If you are in Dubai, you can, documentation is
easier.
Very easy. Plus, it is a port.
Yeah.
And Dubai ka the best part is it organizes many global events. It's a Gulf Food Festival every February, every year February mein. It's a huge event on food grocery.
Okay.
Food industry.
Okay.
Right. So which happens in Dubai. So all this motivated us to be in Dubai.
Okay.
right? Because we thought that there would be many people, delegations coming from various parts of the globe, and if we have our own setup there, we can showcase them our products. So that helped, right? Apart from this, locally we do market. Dubai has various restaurants also, so we are appointing
Association with.
Horeca distributors now in Dubai. Unlike in India, we distribute our own products. There we have to appoint because we don't have supply chain ऐसे doesn't work in Dubai. जैसे इंडिया में है कि वो बहुत बड़ा गोडाउन लेकर आपने, because इंडिया में क्या है कि you get labor very easily.
True.
Dubai में you can't. You cannot have 80 people का team suddenly in Dubai. In India में it's easy.
Yeah.
So everything. So there we have a distributor.
Got it. So जब आपने दुबई में स्टार्ट किया तो आपने अपनी मार्केट रिसर्च कैसे करी वहाँ पे कि ऑन ग्राउंड ये ट्रेंड्स चल रहे हैं तो आपको ऐसे टैप इन करने मार्केट?
दुबई का बेस्ट पार्ट क्या है कि आप दुबई में एंटर तो कर देते हो, ऑफिस भी कर देते हो जो हमने किया, बट यू हैव टू गेट योर प्रोडक्ट्स रजिस्टर्ड with the ministry there, with the authority there, and it takes almost 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
So till that time you burn money because you have an office, you have rental to pay, you have some staff, but you don't have any products to sell, right? So we were in that position where we got an offer from one of the IT companies to market their IT software to various retail outlets. And that gave us a very good window to enter into the retail network of Dubai. So we started with that, and there was no other thing to do. We just had to sit there otherwise.
Yes.
So we took that distributorship and we started tapping retail stores. And उससे क्या हो गया कि those retailers, they started knowing us that we provide them this software. So it was easy for us to place our products through to them.
The market.
There, because the network was created, right? So that helped, and it again opened a new window. So we just floated a company called BizHub, Artimart BizHub in Dubai, which is catering to distribution of POS, point of sales, IT. So it's into IT division. So it's our IT company now in Dubai. We do have an IT company as well because this experience helped us enter into that IT sector. So, and that consultancy would also, whoever wants to come to Dubai to set up his own business, we will guide them with registration, with IT infrastructure, financial understanding and all.
Got it.
So that we floated. So my partner, we just floated two days back.
Okay, got it. I also heard कि दुबई के rent rates बहुत high है, land rates, rent rates.
Rentals are very high.
Rentals are
yeah, sure. I mean, Dubai, see, it is as simple. You can compare if you are not earning in Dubai, but you are spending in Dubai. So you are earning in rupees, spending in dirham. So you are earning 1 rupee, you are spending 24 rupees. That is the exchange rate. So if you see from that angle, surely it's a very costly place because it was a tourist place which is now turning into a business place. But once you start earning from there, you can manage.
Got it.
So initially, you are starting an office, you will be burning your Indian profits there, or maybe investors' money there. But once you are there, so I think it will take three years ka hard work and spending.
Got it. So coming back to India, I heard that you were also once a model for AT&T, which is now Idea Cellular. So can you tell me more about it?
This was in the year 2002.
Okay.
I remember it was, I think, April, May. This was 2 years prior to I started my business. So I was working with Grey. So one of our designers who used to work in Grey was a consultant to the other agency which was handling AT&T business account. So they were in need of a good model for their print campaign. But I believe maybe perhaps they did not have that kind of budget to pay to a model. So, and this friend, he knew that I was so much interested in modeling, because I did a little modeling for one of the tea brand also in house.
Okay.
It's a small print ad. So, so he told me that you should come with lots and lots of various kind of clothes, so that
Outfit,
you will
yeah.
be out there, and we will be hiring a studio, and we'll do the campaign ka shoot. So I went there, pura bag भर के, suitcase भर के, and it also AT&T had launched national roaming on a prepaid card.
Okay.
So in a studio and with different poses, that shoot was done, and then उसमें Photoshop करके print ad में the monument was placed पीछे to showcase. So जैसे चार मीनार है, तो national room is in Hyderabad. Gateway of India है, so it is in Bombay.
Right.
India Gate है, so it is in Delhi.
Right.
So that campaign was released. But the sad part is that after 15 days of this campaign, it was the
Name change to
the name change, AT&T changed to Idea,
That's it.
and then my modeling career then had to die there.
That's sad. Okay, so that's all for today from my end. Thank you so much for being here, and we're really honored to have you on the show. We're wishing you more and more success.
My pleasure. I really enjoyed talking to you, and wish you all the best with your podcasts.
Thank you.